And we spoke about a few things that you can look for within the reviews, like reading the reviews thoroughly, going through the list, going through the entire thread, and then just not ruling people out because they got maybe one or two bad reviews. It's always about the proportion of bad reviews to good reviews. If the chasm doesn't make sense, it has to make sense in your mind. But today I want to continue the conversation in those reviews, right? A way to use reviews to help you to make a decision as to do you want to patronize this business or not. Hey, welcome to another video. Welcome to the Bajo channel. This is the home of self-care, wellness, beauty, and any and everything that'll help you to become a more improved and refined version of you. I want to continue this conversation from my last conversation about reviews and finding a great stylist. And we spoke about a few things that you can look for within the reviews, like reading the reviews thoroughly, going through the list, going through the entire thread, and then just not ruling people out because they got maybe one or two bad reviews. It's always about the proportion of bad reviews to good reviews. If the chasm doesn't make sense, it has to make sense in your mind. But today I want to continue the conversation in those reviews, right? A way to use reviews to help you to make a decision as to do you want to patronize this business or not is to look at the bad reviews. See this, and this is a little reverse engineering. If you look at the person's bad reviews, and me personally, I hope they have some, because that just gives me more of an authenticity of the business. Like, and I'm not saying it has to be all, if it's perfect, it's not good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more times than not, most likely, they're going to have at least one, maybe two. If they got 100, 200, 300 reviews, they're going to have at least one. Somebody going to cross that business that they ain't going to be happy or something went awry. But I'm going to reverse engineer this thing now. Look at their bad reviews, right? And see how the business responds to those reviews. That's a good way to kind of figure out if you even want to patronize this business, because guess what? This is a reality check. Things happen in any business, whether somebody is late, whether something happens, maybe the style doesn't last, something, it happens. Something can happen. You can make a great decision as to whether I want to utilize this business or not when you look at how the owners or the management team deals with dissatisfied clients, because it might be you. And you want to know, how is the temperament of this establishment to deal with my concerns? A great establishment or a great stylist, they're not going to have an issue ever with you being dissatisfied or having an issue with something that's done. In fact, they're going to be ready, like they're going to take speedy action expeditiously. They're going to respond, and they're going to start whatever the process or protocol that they have in place to correct this issue. And if you are that type of client that just want that situation to be remedied, you're going to be so happy with a very, very responsive salon or stylist. When you read the bad reviews and you see whether that establishment lashes out with all this venom for even writing a bad review, or just, they have this back and forth banter with this negative, like one person is saying these expletives to the stylist and they're responding back with the same, like potty mouth and just cursing each other out online. You might want to think twice if that's the establishment for me. Because guess what? You might go there. You may get your hair curled or whatever you're getting, and something goes wrong, like I don't like it, and something happened or whatever. And you want to be able to feel comfortable to be able to return to the place that you got your service done. And you want to know that you're going to be met with like this amiable response and receptiveness, like open receptiveness, like, oh, come back. Come on, come back, come. In my career, I have always worked with groups of people who was always very responsive, especially in a dissatisfied client situation. Because if you're a great stylist, when your client is not happy, you're not happy. You don't, when you have a great stylist, they don't care about your money like that. Everybody need that coin. I get it. But when you're unsatisfied, that whole money situation goes out the window. Their main focus is to try to get you satisfied and get you feeling like you gotten what you came for in the first place. A great stylist is going to almost lose sleep, I'm telling you, when her clients are not happy with her work. And she's going to do, or he's going to do, whatever it takes to remedy that situation. That's hands down. I'm telling you that from 30 plus years of experience. And when you get a stylist who don't care, you're going to get that negative response. You're going to get this back and forth, like this argumentative attitude, or kind of like, how dare you even approach me? Or they come to you like with an accusatory remarks, like, so what you do? What did you do wrong? What happened? Like, they totally dismiss themselves from that situation. But a great stylist is going to put herself in it immediately. What happened? And she's going to try, or he's going to try to fix it immediately. Come back in. They're going to, and for you, as as somebody patronizing a business, you want to go back, and sometimes it is a little hostile situations, but for the most part, if it's something that you can go back and communicate with your stylist with, try to go back and have a reasonable, not even so, I don't even want to say friendly, but go back with a receptive tone, because your whole point in going back to the stylist, you want to get some results. Whether you want your money back, whether you want your hair done again, whether you want what you purchased refunded, whatever your request is, you know what you want. When you are not satisfied as a client, you know what you want, and you know how it's going to make you feel better. Some people just want you to acknowledge that something went wrong and how you're going to fix it. Some people are over it. They just want their money back. Some people don't want their money back. If something happened, depending on the extent of the dissatisfaction or what happened, they will service you until you are happy. But you know what you want. And if you are dissatisfied, go back knowing what you want. Go back. If you just want them to fix it, let them fix it. And if it takes them a month, 2 months, if that's what you want, you let that be known. Because when you go and you so enraged and everybody just hurling all of these vehement words and they mad, and nothing is gonna get fixed. Nothing is gonna get fixed. You mad, now you got the stylist mad because the way you came off at them. And these are things I have learned over the years. Instead of just trying to look for good reviews to find a great stylist, look for some of the negative ones and see how they responded. That tells a big story. I'm telling you, that tells a big story. If you go through a whole thread and you see, if it's however many negative reviews, and you see the management team is almost like blasting everybody out who dared to even write a negative review, you may want to steer clear from that business. Seriously. It's just like, it's human nature. If you have a friend, or if you're in a group and you see one person always being defensive, always arguing with people, like no matter what, whether it's their family, their friends, they always have this argumentative attitude. Trust and believe, if you get into a relationship with that person, they're going to be just as argumentative with you. Why would you think that somebody's going to treat somebody differently? You see the pattern. They just argumentative. If you see an establishment and they curse everybody out, or they say something negative, or they flip the blame, they exchange the blame. They don't take any accountability. They just want to flip the blame on everybody. No, listen, because you and they're going back and forth. You're smart. We are smart. You put it together like, wow. So you're telling me based on these reviews, if I ever have a problem at this establishment, this is what I'm in store for. This is what I can look forward to. I promise you. I don't have a crystal ball, but it's very unlikely, highly unlikely, that you see the way the establishment responds to the negative reviews, that they won't respond to you in the same way. They're going to. The reality is that things do happen. And instead of just looking at reviews and looking for the good ones, which you should, great, perfect, I want to challenge you, look at the negative ones. Let's see how the response and how that conversation, that exchange went afterwards. You can read a lot from it. You can read a lot. And you can see sometimes whether that client was just problematic from the beginning. Sometimes people are going to be problematic. I don't care if you hang from the ceiling on a chandelier and twirl with a clown suit on. They're never going to be happy. You're not going to make them happy. I don't care. And great stylists, after a while, they learn, guess what? They reserve the right to service whoever they want to. Great stylists, you'll see them turning certain people down because they can't. And they're not going to deal with that type of disrespect. They're not even going to deal with that type of energy. When you're a great stylist, you don't have to. I don't have to dumb down just to get this particular client when I see this is going to be a problem from the beginning. You start to see, when you just starting, I could tell you when I was a younger stylist and I was just starting in the industry, I just took any and everybody. I didn't know that I reserved the right to say no or yes to whoever I wanted to. But as you grow in the business and you get more seasoned and you start realizing all money ain't good money. I don't even want that money. I don't want that. Because if you disturb my peace, you gotta go. They said if anything disturbs your peace, it's too expensive. Nothing in this world should be able to disturb your peace and you allow it to and think that it's okay or get comfortable with it. Now that's a whole general statement. I could go off into a tangent on that one, but let's stay right here on these reviews. When you got a great stylist, she's gonna bend over backward to make you happy. Whether when you happy, they're gonna try their best to maintain that. If you're not happy, something goes wrong, they like, oh, hold on, what happened? And they want to hear you. They're gonna listen to you. What you're saying to them is important. They hear you. And they're going to make speedy recommendations or suggestions for you guys to collaborate together and fix the situation. That is it. And when you see on these reviews, when somebody is beefing back and forth, like just through the threads, they beef with everybody. You ain't do this. And even if that was the case, there's a level of professionalism that have to be that is exude from a professional that it's gonna be across the board. So I challenge you, when you're looking at reviews, locate some of the negative ones and see how that response went. And you can see a lot. To me, you can see more from those negative ones sometimes than you can even from the positive ones. We live in a real shady kind of world. So you got to be very careful when you're making quick, flat decisions, because your stylist becomes a part of your family. Seriously, they're part of your everyday regimen. You're gonna see them once a week, every 2 weeks. You're gonna see them once a month, every 2 months, whatever. They just become a part of your life, and you need good energy, good just good vibe around you at all times. You got enough. You have enough negativity. When you're going to get serviced or you're doing anything for your self-care, you need that to be in line with what you're working on as far as positivity and an even flow. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you. Appreciate you. This is the Bajo channel, home of self-care, wellness, beauty, and anything that'll help you to become a more refined version of you. And remember, self-care most certainly is the best care. Later.